What I believe is probably the weirdest street sign. Yeah, we keep telling him it's a 3-mile trail, but it's 6. I know you can't see it, but the river is invisible. Who knows that? And then there were 3.
So somebody was saying that he's looking for a gas leak.
Welcome to Trout Creek Canyon Trail outside of Helena, Montana. But Michelle, today is drive day. Where are we headed?
We're going to Helena, Montana.
Yeah, we're meeting up with our friends up in Helena, actually closer to Townsend, which is about 30 minutes southeast of Helena. But we've got about a 4 to 4.5 hour drive day, we think, and we're going to be passing over Lost Trail Pass, which I think is about 7,000 feet in elevation. I think we're at 3,800 right now, so we got some climbing to do today. Hopefully it won't be too bad. I looked it up on the internet, and it looks like in most cases people said that with an RV it's not too bad. So we always try to check that, but I did check flattest route yesterday, and I saw that there was a pass, so I had to look into it. But all right, we're all hooked up. We're heading out. Drive day is going well. As I usually do, I'm always looking for boondocking sites, and I found some amazing ones. I think it's Wisdom, Idaho is a small little town, and probably about 15 minutes west of there, there's some amazing boondocking up in like Beaver Head National Forest or something like that. When we get settled, I'm gonna go and look on my map and see if I can find exactly where those were. We also just, I guess, officially went into Montana when we made this turn, though we didn't get the Welcome to Montana announcement on our Google Maps. But I saw what I believe is probably the weirdest street sign that we've run across so far, and that was, it said maximum load of 350 pounds per inch of tire width. Who knows that? I have no idea how you could even calculate that, and somebody would be driving and know that type of information, but it's specific to this road. It's maximum at 55 miles an hour, but yeah, it said 350 pounds per inch of tire width. So, but it is beautiful. Sorry for the dirty windshield, but I'm gonna capture some of the trip from our dash cam and also use that. But we're about 2 hours out, 2.5 hours actually, from our destination, and so far everything's going well, knock on wood. Hey, we made it. So this is an amazing campsite, and shout out to our friends Tamara and Brian who reserved the spot for us, quote unquote. As you can see them there in the Brinkley. Welcome to Canyon Ferry Lake. There's our spot. So this is actually a Bureau of Reclamation land. It has a 14-day stay limit. There's lots of spots out here, and as I always do, I'm going to do a campsite review of it. But yeah, we cannot complain about this view for the next 2 weeks. We are here a few days early in advance of the 4th of July, so we got a prime spot. We're waiting for our friends. We parked our trucks over there so that our friends Lisa and Alan can park there. But yeah, this is actually the Missouri River. So let me take you up here along the shore and show you. We have our own personal beach as well. And of course, we're gonna do a campsite review, so don't worry about that. We're gonna do, oh, there's Michelle. She's just out staring at the water. So this is actually the Missouri River. It's about a 30-mile section where they dammed it down at the southern end. I'm sorry, the northern end. And they call it Canyon Ferry Lake. There's a few boondocking spots over there. There's actually several, on the map, there's several areas they refer to as campgrounds, but they're really just boondocking areas. So we'll be sharing all of those. We are excited about this. I walked over here and I forgot. I got all sidetracked, folks. We have our own personal little rocky beach right there. And later this week, it's supposed to be in the mid 80s a few days. So we will be getting in the lake. We are at 3,900 feet of elevation. So, you know, it still is going to get warm here, but we've got a picnic table. We've got a fire pit, though. The fire pit is over there because of where we parked. But Brian and Tamara have a fire pit over there as well, so I'm sure we'll be probably doing fires over that direction. But yeah, we've got a nice large spot. The only real side note I want to mention about this spot right now is that apparently it's very popular for Canadian geese, and there was just goose poop everywhere. We cleaned most of it up. Well, not most of it. We cleaned up the area where we're going to spend most of our time. But yeah, hopefully you can't hear that wind, but the wind is blowing a little bit. But yeah, that's going to be our view for the next 2 weeks, folks. We got some cool adventures planned. We're just outside, probably about 35 miles as the crow flies outside of Helena, though in order to go around the reservoir / lake, it's going to take us about 50 minutes to get into Helena, Montana. But welcome to Montana. Hey everyone, take number 2. Welcome to Trout Creek Canyon outside of Helena, Montana. I'll get it out once in a while. So look who we talked into hiking with us today.
Yeah.
Brian and Tamara. So you probably saw Tamara in the video when we hiked Hell Roaring Lake or Hell Roaring Creek. But Brian is here with us today. He loves he's an avid hiker, right?
Yeah, short trip hiker.
Yeah, he's a short trip hiker. So we're hoping that we can convince him to stay with us this entire trail. But it's about 785 feet of elevation gain, and it looks beautiful. Driving in here, man, it is prototypical Montana. So we're pretty excited, and you know, as we always do, we're going to take you along with us. So we just found out this is actually an interpretive trail, which is awesome, because number one, that means it's probably not super rugged. But yeah, we took a picture of this. It's got 10 stations. And we just passed station 1. We joked with Brian that there was like a metal 1 back there, and I said, oh, that was mile marker 1, even though we had taken like 100 steps from the trailhead. But yeah, so this is a 3 mile out and 3 mile back. We haven't told Brian that, so by the time he's watching this, he will have figured it out. We keep telling him it's a 3 mile trail, but it's 6. But we'll see how long he can go. You know, he's got some hip and joint issues, so we're not going to push it too much. But we told him we'll just kind of go at his speed, and there they are. Oh, spot number 2, station number 2.
Holy crap, it's a bear.
Ooh, another interpretive. This is number 6. All
6.
Right, number 6. More geology. Oh.
Limestone was extreme.
So update at about 1.25 miles. The interpretive trail, numbers 1 through 10, with the information placard, are actually the first mile of the trail, where it was nice and flat and gravel and easy to navigate. But now we are actually hiking a legitimate national forest trail with roots and rocks, and it's way cooler in here as far as temperature wise. I think it's dropped probably 10 or 15 degrees since we got into this section. They talk a little bit about that in one of the interpretive signs, that this center of the trail only gets about an hour and a half of direct sunlight during the summer, and so it's a lot cooler. And that's why back at the trailhead there's a campground referred to as Vigilante Campground that a lot of the locals here in Helena come to, because it's a lot cooler during the summer. So we thought we were actually going to be walking along Trout Creek during the entire trail, but I know you can't see it, but the river is invisible. So we found out, because of the porous nature of the rocks, that much of the creek is actually running below this level, because the water level isn't high enough to come up to make it visible. So the creek is actually still running just down below the level of visibility for us. But they said periodically along the trail you'll see it come back up to surface, because of the type of rock that was down below pushes the water up closer to the surface. Whoop. Okay, that scared me.
this 3.1. Is there any payoff? Big waterfall. Something cool.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh my.
Brian's doing great, everyone. He's now realized that Tamara had told him 3 miles, but that was actually just one way. But he's still with us, and we only got a little less than a half mile left. So we're excited. Stop and, of course, give you a snack update.
Okay, snack update. I had a ham sandwich with cheese. Kyle had, well, he had ham slices and cheese, no bread. And I had some apple slices. He also had beef sticks. So, not a whole lot today because it's not a super duper hard hike, but it was just enough to refresh us to make the 3 mile hike back. And one thing that's interesting, I don't know if Kyle's pointed it out, but there's actually like moss on trees back here because this part of the canyon does not get much sunlight. So it's usually pretty, has a lot of moisture and is probably a little humid. Let me show you.
I don't know if I shared this at the beginning, but this trail is rated a 4.7 on all trails, which says a lot because with something that's rated by crowdsourcing, a lot of times you get, you know, the one person who doesn't like flies or whatever, and they bring the whole rating down. But it's top notch, folks. Highly recommend this. So on our hike back that we're on now, it's definitely a mountain bike. There's more mountain bikers out here than there are hikers right now. It is a Sunday, so but still the trail is, you know, it pretty much feels like we have it to ourselves. There's just a group of 6 hikers. You can also take your dog on the trail, which I know is important to a lot of folks because a lot of trail systems around the country are not dog friendly, especially in like national parks. But since this is a national forest, dogs are allowed and are absolutely no problem. We've seen probably 10 of them already today. But I don't know, Michelle and I might come back and actually mountain bike this because back in Crested Butte 2 years ago, we, I think it was Crested Butte. Yeah, it was Crested Butte. We actually hiked a trail up near what was the ski lift and mountain biking area, and then we went back and mountain biked it a few days later, and it was really fun because we knew what to expect. We kind of knew what was around the next corner if you're bailing down on your bike or whatever. So yeah, we really enjoy Trout Creek Canyon Trail, and it's gorgeous in here. It's nice and cool. I think today it's supposed to get up to 77, but in here it's, whoops, sorry, stepped on a rock. In here it's probably like 67 or so. So it's beautiful. Ryan's leading.
Hello, sports fans. It was a great trip. They lied to me. It was not 3.1 unless you go one way and somehow fly back. But it was fun. Very nice temperatures, nice and shaded. Wasn't terribly steep or any of that stuff.
Tamara, what do you think?
It was a great hike. Beautiful views the entire way.
Oh yeah, it was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Love the trail. We'll put the QR code in the beginning, which we probably already did, but we'll put it again here at the end. So we highly recommend you download all trails, utilize all trails for this trip, and 2 thumbs up, and we'll take you on our next adventure here real soon.
Hi, if this is your first time, this is Michelle and I am one half of the Wandering Shores. Today, I'm going on a city tour here in Helena, Montana on the Last Chance Gulch tour, and I'm super excited. I'm with our friends Tamara and Brian. Kyle stayed back at the camper. He does have some grading to do, so we're missing him out here today, but we're off for an adventure going through the city of Montana. Well, we're going through the city of Helena and looking at some of the specific sites and historic buildings.
All aboard Wander Squad for the Last Chance Gulch Tour here in Helena, Montana.
You know what time it is?
Time to go.
It's tour train time. We've got a beautiful morning to take a look at Montana's capital city. You guys are going to get a great view because we got up before breakfast and cleaned all the windows in the train. There's just one more thing we need to do before we take off, and that's say all aboard on 3. 1, 2, 3. We're roaming around Montana's capital city together for the next hour, so sit back, relax. We've got a lot of interesting things to take a look at. Served as home for 8 of Montana's government, 1913 to 1959. And in 1922, the plates were shipped over and installed.
Yeah, this is kind of weird. We get here to lunch and there's emergency vehicles here. Wonder what's going on. So somebody was saying that he's looking for a gas leak. I wonder if we should leave. He's holding on to that stick and touching it to the ground.
Good morning, Wander Squad. So we are out on the trail. Hope everyone had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. This is actually the Sunday of the holiday weekend, and Tamara, Brian, and Michelle and I are here in Helena again. This time we're hiking Ascension Mountain Trail via the Lower DeFord trailhead, or something like that. It's about 6 miles long with about 1,100 feet of elevation. This first section is the steepest with some switchbacks. There they are up there. Well, I guess you can't see them. They're behind that tree. There they are. So Tamara and Brian are leaving tomorrow to head back down towards their home state of Oklahoma. And Michelle and I will have another night there on Canyon Ferry Reservoir before we pack up and head to higher elevation, because it's supposed to get really warm again this week. And then there were 3. So Tamara, Michelle, and I have continued on. Brian, I don't know if I'd mentioned it in the Trout Creek Canyon trail, but he had COVID twice, and he said ever since he's had COVID, he's had a real hard time with, you know, breathing and elevation gain too. So that, along with his hip issues, he decided to go ahead and turn around after we got up those switchbacks. But we're going to continue on. We're about 1.5 miles into the trail, a little less than 1.5 miles. And it's beautiful. It's shaded, as you can see. It is a busy trail. We've passed numerous people. It is a multi-use trail, so mountain bikers, hikers, runners. No horses yet, and I don't see any signs of them. But and it is a dog-friendly trail, so if you're bringing your furry friend with you, there are a lot of them out here. One thing I will say about the trail is, if you're going to come out here and hike this one, make sure you download the map. You actually have internet out here, so if you don't have the All Trails Plus program, you can just use the All Trails app. But it's like a spider web of different offshoot trails that you know, sometimes are more mountain bike trails, but if you don't have the map downloaded, you're going to come to quite a few intersections where there's not a real clear indication of which direction that you go. So it's always easiest to have the map downloaded so that you're following the specific route that you think you are. You don't end up being wandering around. We don't have the mics on today, so you don't have to listen to my close-up breathing hard. But we made it to the top of kind of the second biggest climb. Here comes Michelle. And there's Tamara. And take a little break here on the bridge and get a drink. And then this section's fairly flat for a little bit before we finish our climb to the top. I don't know that that's the top up there or not, because it says we still have about 500 feet of elevation gain, so we'll see. Overlooking the town of Helena, Montana. Oh, there's a mountain biker coming. Let me get off the trail.
I want to update everybody on our website. It's gotten a little bit of a makeover. Kyle's been working hard at it, and you'll have to get on there. It's www.thewandringshores.com. We have some intros there. It's an all about me section and some new content on there. You'll want to be sure and check it out, because I know you're dying to know what I wrote about in my paragraph, right?
There's a better shot of the town of Helena. We're making progress up to the top. We're in a little bit of a flat section here, but then we've got our big climb right at the end. And then pretty much everything's downhill from there. How you feeling, Michelle?
Tired. Tired.
It's a beautiful trail. Shaded through pretty much all of it so far, so that's fantastic. Keeps it a lot cooler. Breeze has been blowing a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see how steep this is. Let me flatten the camera out. I'm gonna give you a little bit more perspective. Here's Michelle and Tamara. Almost up at the top. This is to Ascension Ridge. And it's a heck of a climb right here at the end. Just got finished with our snack break up at the top. Pepperoni, meat sticks, lunch meat, cheese, and ranch dip. For me, I think Michelle had apples, and I think some turkey lunch meat. I had ham. And Tamara had peanut butter and jelly, and some of Michelle's apples as well. And it was busy up there at the top, actually. But what was interesting is most people were not hiking up the side we came up. Most people were hiking up to the top via the direction we're heading down, which seems to be a lot more gradual, but that's how we roll. We take the hardest way up. That's right. We made it back to the trailhead. Brian's waiting for us. Tamara, what'd you think? Oh, Michelle's first. I thought Tamara was first.
Can still go first.
All right, Tamara, you go first.
It was a great hike, very challenging. Just enough elevation to really get your heart up.
Yeah, it was hard, and we hiked up like we were being chased by something. It was probably the quickest.
Okay, now let's interrupt this. Let's interrupt this. You guys have been following us for a long time. You guys have been following us for a long time. Have you ever heard Michelle at the end of the hike say, oh, that was an easy hike, that was good, that was fun? No, she's always yapping about, complaining, saying it was hard.
truth.
No, she doesn't. That trail was fantastic. There was some elevation gain, but it paid itself off at the overlook.
We did
and
3 miles.
You hiked the whole way down. Like, you didn't even have to stop. It was super easy on the way down.
When we got to the 3 mile mark, we had done it in like, I think I said an hour and 10 minutes. That's fast.
That was fast.
Michelle's
And over half the elevation down.
Michelle's like a glasses half empty kind of person.
I am not. Anybody that knows me